Okay. All right, well, let's get back into the grind, like exactly where we were, guys. We're gonna go ahead and load the game here real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and kick off where we left off. Now it is showtime. I'm definitely ready and excited for this, so let's see what happens. Whenever the game decides to load in, of course. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear the game volume pretty good. What are we? We're episode 2. Yeah, we haven't really done many episodes on this game yet, guys, so hopefully we'll get some pretty nice progression with this one. I know we had some really tough issues with one of the bosses, but you know what? We managed it. We got through it. It was fun. Okay. Here we go. So we're back at the lady with the fortune teller lady. We're just carrying our cell phone around. What was it that we had to do? You ready to go? Or do I want to explore? I think I did explore last time, didn't I? Alright, so we got this guy under protection with us. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and talk to the fortune lady. I like the beads thing, it's pretty cool. What if we like walk through them really slowly? Let's see what happens. Does it give us that natural real effect? Like real beads? Whoa. We're not even touching it, look at that. So that just shows you what our hitbox is. Ooh, what's back here? Nothing. Nothing! Alright, let's talk to the lady. And let's tell her that we are ready to go. New locations accessible, notes updated. So what do we got with our notes here? Let's take a look. Next destination is Kung Pong Sintai. This place is famous for Seamtime chickens and their eggs. Down there, fortune teller told me more things will unfold. I should go there right now. Okay, so we go to a new location. How we get there? We can probably even just take the bike taxi. Yeah, right there. Okay. So this is a whole new area. This is a residential area. Let's go for it. Yeah, you did. I guess you gotta talk to her. Yeah. Fortune teller lady told us we have to go get a chicken egg or something. I don't know. Or we have this egg, but we don't know what to do with this. So, oh gosh. Thanks, dude. Appreciate the lift, bro. This town looks spooky enough. We got the ball going on. All right. We got more bike riders here. What's up, fellas? Maybe one of you guys want to play a game of chess? Yeah? No? Man, they are really focused, aren't they? They're all like... Yeah. Okay, what about you, sir? Oh gosh, hello, miss. Welcome to the Kampong Sitai. Bike taxis aren't allowed in here. Is there something I can help you with? What? Some money eggs? Dark rituals? Be careful with your questions, miss. We're very religious folks around here. Oh, okay. Okay. But I have a dark egg. What do you want me to do? I just obtained it in my nightmarish dream, and I don't know what to do with it. Wait, yo, what's crazy is how I saw you notice for Xbox that you were streaming and I wasn't. Really? Wow, that's crazy, bro. Right? It's a small world, man. It's a real small world. Man, what I forgot to do. This is bad news, man. I think what we're gonna do is completely forgot about. Yeah. Well, actually, we'll just do it this way. Let's close this out. What's up, Mango Man? How are you, bro? How you been, man? Hope you've been good. Do I play Infinity Blade? No, I don't even know what that is. All right, so we got two directions here. We have a left road, right road. Right looks blocked. So I'm gonna check the dead end real quick because, hey, we never know, right? Let's turn so I can see the chat better. Yeah, this is gonna be a dead end. I wonder if this is the road that we saw with the with the previous version of Dreadout, guys. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Can we go out in the woods? Yes, I love games that let you explore. Ooh. It's getting spooky out here. Let me bump this up a little bit so I can hear better. Okay. Alright, well, let's talk to these gentlemen here, see what's going on. They don't even want to talk to me. What you serving? Looks like soup. Okay. It's a lot of open land here, guys. We have to look out for any ghosts. Alright, maybe we'll check out this house here, see what we got. Am I getting PSU2 online? Wait, what? What is that? PSU2 online. I have no idea what that is. I've been slacking on new games, guys. I've been really slacking it up. This guy's neck must be hurting. What do you guys think? Think he's having neck pain? PSU2 online. That's interesting. We're not going in that house, so we're going to go ahead and skip that one. Let's move on to the next room here, guys. This is a pretty big town. Oh, here goes chess. Nobody's playing. Wow. We got little children here playing. Hey, sis. Want to play with us? No. You want to ask about Sumani eggs? Nah, I don't know. Just ask the uncle over there. Who? Hold on, we got this one. What the heck is going on here? The uncle over there? Are you talking about over here? Fantasy Star Universe. Oh, Fantasy Star Universe. Never, you know, I don't think I've ever... Is this like their first game? I've never heard of it. I think I've heard of it, but never really looked into it. If it's going to be a really good game, I'll look into it. Which you just reminded me, by the way, guys. There's something I've been meaning to work on. I just haven't done it yet. Hold on, give me a second. Holy jeez. You just reminded me. Thank you so much. Boom, da, 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 be, da, boom. Okay, so with right here, we are going to do... All right. Okay. Log in here real quick. Let me make some last minute adjustments and then we're going to be all good. Okay. I don't know. Okay, let's continue on. All right, so it looks like we have a couple people just standing over here. We're not talking to any of them. We can't really sprint very long in this game. It's kind of... Oh, this guy. Hello, mouse. What? So many eggs? I'm sorry, I don't know. I just recently moved from the neighboring village. Go ask the local ladies over there. I'm sure they know something. Hey, look. Wait, what? What a babe. What? That girl is so girlfriend material. Oh, you think so? Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Does she look like that sassy girl? No way. It can't be. He's already dead years ago. So am I a dead girl? What? What are you selling here? We have sweet. We have ball. We have Naro. We have Cheetah Top. We have Ringo. We have Z's. Wow. Okay, there ain't no ladies over here. What ladies are they talking about? You're a visible ghost! No! This game was released in 2012 for Japan, and after all these years, they're bringing it to the West. Oh, Phantasy Star! Yes, that's that MMO game! I remember. People were playing on VPNs to get on there. Yes, I remember. What was it that made it not come to America? I can't remember what it was. I know what you're talking about now. Okay. Okay. Phantasy Star. Yeah. Why are we in the cemetery? Probably spooky in here. All right, let's go talk to these ladies over here. They gotta know an answer, guys. Somebody's gotta know about these Somani eggs. Yes, dear. Somani eggs? I think there's only one person left who will still trade those things, but she stopped since many religious persecutions lately. Maybe you should ask the Grandpa Pri. He should know something about it. Okay, by the way, why are you asking about Somani eggs? Are you trying to... Uh-oh. Listen, you're still young. Don't get involved with something like that. Well, I'm not involved with something like that. I found the Somani eggs and I need answers. Alright, we're gonna talk to Pri over here, guys. Maybe he knows. No. This guy's too busy building something. That is crazy. I don't know, something about this ad cracks me up. The only Kraken sightseeing tour in the world. That's hilarious. Alright guys, let's move around. Alright, we're gonna talk to this fella. Grandpa Pri. He's not talking. What? Speak louder! I can't hear you! Shamani, what? Ah, somebody eggs! Do I look like egg seller to you? Why is his foot twitching like that? Look at his left foot, guys. You see that? Go ask a crazy woman. She goes, just go uphill, goes inside the village. You'll find her there. Chicks, young folks nowadays, always busy with useless things, obsessed with their phones, and now mumble-jumble nonsense. Wow, okay. Yeah, sure, man. This man was really upset, so we're gonna go uphill. Looks like it's gonna be spooky. Yeah, here's the Sintai. Sintai? I don't know. Hopefully we're going the right way, guys. I really have no idea right now, but we're gonna figure it out, though. Alright, what's this? If I rise up here, I won't let any outsiders go out alive, especially those loudmouths who don't respect the taboo around here. Or the taboo. Well, taboo, what's going on here? You guys doing some illegal stuff? What's going on? What the heck is going on? Uh-oh. Don't say I didn't warn you. Oh well. I have to do it, guys. We don't have a choice. We have to go uphill and we gotta talk to the crazy cuckoo woman. Because if we don't, who will, right? Nobody would do it. I will. Look at the rocks, man. Game is moving pretty good. Heck yeah, it's moving pretty good. Alright, let's keep this progress rolling in here, guys. Okay. Yeah, this looks like this is about to get bad. Well, we don't have a choice. We have to talk to this woman. This woman knows the answers to everything. Supposedly. So let's just hope that she really does. But like we should go this way. This way feels safer. Yeah, there's definitely some hocus pocus jumbo going on here. This could be bad news, guys. This is spooky. Where am I even going? Do I go up? I'm trying to watch ourselves here, guys. We don't know what to expect right now. Ooh. Now that's beautiful. We'll take a picture of that. This girl stays running with her phone in her hand, guys. She never lets go. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, we can't even go in the water. Wow, that's out of the question. All right, so we got to go back? Yep, we got to go back. Okay. All right, then. Oh, well, it looks like we got another walk path here. Oh, this is actually a person. Oh, no. This guy's camping here? What's going on? He seems okay. The camping site was closed years ago, all because unexplained accidents involving many campers. A few survivors claimed that they were followed and misled by strange figures. Locals said that they broke taboo here around here. Oh, personally, I don't believe that kind of thing. But as a ranger, I must respect their beliefs. So you're a ranger? Uh-huh. Well, let's see exactly what happened here. Well, we got graffiti. We got a tent here. Everything seems damaged and broken. I guess we're going more uphill, guys. We don't have a choice right now. Here we go. Okay. Yep, it's getting serious right now. We got this. Whoa. The heck is going on over here? Uh-oh. Maybe this lady would know something. Huh? Who are you? What do you want? Uh-oh. Money eggs? Yeah, some money eggs. Yeah, I used to raise some money eggs, chickens, and sell the eggs, but now I've quit. Oh, okay. That's not good. Why'd you quit? What? Those folks said I'm the crazy old woman? Those dim-witted fanatic people were just jealous I made a fortune. Okay, you made a fortune. Now what? Why are you asking about those eggs? Well, you see... Are you? Praise the Almighty. You're alive. It's me, Miss Linda. Teeny Teddy. My, don't worry, my dear. I know that tired and confused face of yours are in need of a good rest. Come, follow me to my house. It's not far from here. Okay, so we're just gonna follow, like, this creepy lady who somehow has this involvement with these eggs. Oh. Poor child. When was the last time you walked? Oh, this is bad. This is bad. What's wrong with me? Nah, I think this lady has something to do with everything. There are so many things I want to tell you. I don't trust her. I feel like I shouldn't be here. Are you too young to remember me back then? Oh boy. Oh my. Well, looks like we're going inside. I feel like I shouldn't be in here. But now we're walking normal. We're still holding that phone. Oh yeah. I've played it sometimes. No, I don't know, guys. Something ain't right. Too much good food on the table. She's about to eat me. You look tired. Why don't you get some sleep? We'll talk later. And, almost forgot about the egg you mentioned. I'll see to it while you rest. Now, let's call it a day. You can sleep in my room. Don't worry, my dear. 1 or 2 insect bites won't kill you. Oh. Okay, insect bites. Makes sense. Oh no, she has like that little huncher in her back, guys. I don't trust this. Alright, we ain't got no messages, nothing but contacts. We're gonna check the notes. Okay, the day is getting dark. Needy Teddy asks me to rest. Yeah, it's a good idea. I need to sleep after that long journey. Furthermore, she promised to tell me what happened to my family years ago. I hope all about she's going to tell me will answer many questions about myself. True. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have to be going to her room. And we gave her the egg too, guys. Something's not right here. This is bad news. I don't know. I really should have. I don't know. I feel weird. Like something's about to happen here for sure. But let's lay down. Get some rest. Okay, here we go. Ouch. What about you? You play the Matrix? Matrix is good. I knew it. I knew it. Oh my, you've grown into a fine young lady. Uh-oh. I remember you as a relentless girl who loved to play hide and seek. Well, this is bad. Even if the day has gone dark, you refuse to stop playing. Oh gosh, what is going on? Ah, those were the days. Why are you being creepy, lady? Yeah, guys, this is not good. Not good at all. 18. Huh. 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 19. 20. Ready or not, here I come. Okay, it's showdown. I gotta find those brats and show them who's the boss. Where do I look first? Am I playing as a little girl? Oh gosh. So I gotta find the kids? Is that what I gotta do? Okay, they can't hide from me. Mom, what are you doing outside? Mommy! Mom! She's not listening. Well, back to how to seek then. Need to find those trio poo-poo. Okay. So it looks like we're gonna be running downhill, guys. Okay, they gotta be somewhere. Maybe somewhere in this bush. Uh-huh. Ah, Poopy! Poopy! You found me first! Next round is gonna be my turn to search for you guys. Just my luck. Okay, so we found one. We gotta find the other ones, guys. Oh, we got this thing blocking the way. Alright, let's keep it moving. Okay, we're not going in there. Okay, we're heading up top. Gotcha. You! How come? You're getting so good at this. But you're not gonna find AKA. He's a master at hiding. Oh, I'm gonna find him right now. So we found 2. There's 1 more still left, guys. But where are they? That is the question. Okay, the rabbit gave me a hint. I kind of figured we'd go in here. Jay! Why are you screaming? Out of the rabbit. Silly wabbit. Wow, big creepy cave. Yeah, I don't think we want to be in there. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. But that's the only place to go. Yep, it's the only place to go. Silly wabbit. Right? Really, right? Oh my gosh. Alright, let's think this through, guys. We gotta think this through for sure. Oh! Okay. Let's figure this out right now, guys. Alright. So once we go inside this cave, this is bad news for us all. Look what's behind him. What is that? Huh! What? What? I guess I gotta admit, you're the winner. Okay, I'll go meet the boys now. Bye! What? You can see me? I guess you're my dinner now. You hungry, huh? Here, take my candy. Oh, what the heck? Wait, what? What? What is going on here? What? You offer me food? Give me that, I'm starving. You liked it? Hey, how come you can live inside in stinky cave? I'll tell you what. Let me clean this mess for you. Okay? You want to clean this mess? Go ahead. I guess you're not like those humans. Made this cave dirty and did something terrible things. I should have eaten them as punishment. Wow. Okay. You look a little creepy though. Yep, he is creepy. Okay, well, we're gonna clean up everything here. On the necklace. Oh. Okay. All right. Probably got a couple more things to clean here. Okay. Hey, Mr. Greenie. I found this beautiful necklace. Uh-oh. Can I keep it? That was good. Want that? Keep it for you. Wow! Well, did you clean my place? Thank you, little one. What's your name? Name's Linda. Nice to meet you. Linda? Of the Melinda family? Should have known earlier. Tell you what. As a reward for cleaning this place, I'll promise you one thing. Since we're living close to each other, I'll guarantee no one will hurt you here. If someone bullies you, I'll come and smash them. Nah, I'm fine. Everyone's been good to me. Well, a promise is a promise. Go home, don't let your parents know you've been playing in this cave. This should be our little secret. Okay. That's pretty weird. Spooky, spooky, spooky cave. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and run it up just a little bit more here, guys. Oh, alright, let's go ahead and head back. What? What is going on? Oh my gosh. Mommy is on fire. Mom! Wow. She just had a nightmare. Not good. Oh, not good. There we go. It's all fixed up. Oh. What the heck just happened? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Time out. Time out. Oh, I think she just put me into the other world here, guys. Okay, it looks like we're in the other world right now. This is where we're gonna have to be careful. Be very careful here on this part. Somebody's standing over there. Oh.
Why are you so cruel?
What the heck?
Lindas were such a kind, caring family. Why did they have to suffer such a terrible tragedy? Most people have only heard that they died in a fire. But there's more to the story. What's the matter, dear? Are you okay?
Oh.
Where was I?
This is bad.
These were no ordinary family. They came from a special bloodline that possessed great power. Which naturally comes with having many enemies.
Right.
One night, their jealousy overtook them. They attacked your family. I was there. It's such a shame I couldn't do anything.
Oh boy.
Tragic story. But I feel blessed that you like your mother.
I knew she was not trustworthy.
So much potential. Oh, Master Rafi and Madame Erna. You should be so relieved. Your daughter has finally come home. Soon she'll be joining you both in hell.
Okay. Okay. What the heck is going on? This lady took my Samani egg. Am I in hell? Oh, I remember the candles. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, it's been so... Oh my god, I remember this. I think I go this way. This way. Oh, yep. The heck?
Bisa nulungan. Tapi anjeun kudu narimakeun sautuhna lalakon nu geus diberekeun. Tos panjang waktuna. Aya hiji perkara deui nu kudu digawean. Anjeun boga pancakaki. Saha diri anjeun nu sajati.
Okay, okay, I'm listening. Oh gosh. Wow, I remember this.
Wancina ayeuna urang pageuhkeun deui ieu patalian.
The time has come and you and
Anjeun
I am you and you are me. Oh, what the heck? We'll check this one first. I think these were the wow. Okay. All right, so what's this one? So we got a bunch of these we're gonna have to look at. So weird. We got a bunch of these to look at. Okay. Okay. I think these were from the I almost got aired or talked into joining the RP server. Yeah, I saw him on there actually. He was on there. He played there for a while. I was kind of just lurking about. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really playing. All right, so these were all like flashbacks of like what happened. Now I remember though in this game when we died, this is what we would have used to seen. But I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and look at all these guys. We haven't looked at all these, so so I broke free. Hey, we all look crazy here. All right, we got one more bubble to do here real quick. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. We'll have to see if oh, there's that little girl, the one with the doll. So what's going on here? I guess now we gotta run to the circle again and we get that respawn. Yeah, he seemed really interested in all that stuff in it. So what is the deal with the personnel-owned businesses? Actually, I don't even have one, but you can get a business. I think you have to be like a certified citizen, so be like a member of the server, like a loyal active member, and you have to purchase it with cash, in-game cash. I think they have a couple of them for like 500,000, 800,000. Just depends on what kind of business you want, you know. Keeper of the Dark. Remember this? Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll like it. It's a really good server. It's very custom scripted, very custom made, very community driven. It's nice.
Cursed keepers of the dark.
What the heck?
Give me your best, love.
No, you didn't. Yeah, wasted potential. Where you going? Where the hell did she go? Oh wow, the textures are loading weird. Oh, it's loading weird here. Yeah, this is bad news, guys. Yeah, it's really good, bro. It's really good. Honestly, it's the only GTA server I play. I would play the other servers, but I just don't have enough time to invest. Where is this lady? Where are you, you psycho lady? Come here. She's gonna be inside here. So how the hell do I get in there? Am I just not going in there right now? There's gotta be a way. Okay, so we're not going up there then. Yeah. I mean, I might check it out eventually. I only like it because of it is a nice server, but it's just very mean players on it, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know, I didn't play it enough to really know. Okay, hold on, what's going on here? We're missing something. We need a key or something. Alright, let's look around the house, see what we can find. Yeah, I think we need to definitely look around for something here, guys. Hold on. I can't believe we gave this lady the egg. Well, some of the game glitched on me. So where am I supposed to go? Yeah, I remember when they pushed your car into the water, right? Yeah, you remember that? Dude, okay, we gotta go down here. Something's not right. Something is not right at all. Okay. So now that we're here... I can't do nothing with that in my inventory? She's in there, I hear her. I can't get in there. But yeah, I'll have to check it out eventually though. Don't worry, don't worry. But I mean, I went back to 5M because I mean, I figured it was a good server to go to, and so far it's been really good. Alright, this ain't right. There's gotta be something out here that we're missing. Hold on, let's check around. We need like a key of some sort. We got 2 graves here. But nothing going on with that. Nah, I think I hope the game didn't glitch out on me. No. Yeah, I mean, because she came out here and went to that building and I can't get in. Not very good, guys. Not very good. Yeah, something... I don't think something's not right here. Dang it. We might have to restart, guys. Hold on, let me go back in the house real quick. We're missing something. Okay, what else is here? Man, she got propane tanks and everything. I think I broke the game again. Alright, we're gonna do load from last checkpoint. We gotta load it, guys. Something's not right here.
Cursed keepers of the dark. Give me your best, love.
No!
Wasted potential.
Okay, where does she go? She goes right in here. She opens the gate. She goes right downstairs. Wow! The door opened! What do you know?
Do you like this place? I hope so. It's your
Oh!
grave.
Do I need to get out of here? That's right. Come on, lady. Come on. Got her again.
Find me, darling.
This lady has gone mad. Oh, God. Where am I supposed to go? Oh, now I can climb over. Just a second ago, I couldn't. Why do we have cows down there? Holy cow! Holy shoot, she's serious about that jump. Alright, we're out of here, guys. Let's go, go, go! Where's this psycho crazy granny? I'm looking for ya. She's somewhere, guys. Where'd she go? I'm outside.
I bet you'll taste just like your mother.
She ate my mother? Why would you do that? That's weird. Yeah, eating my mommy. What's the matter with you, lady? Wow. Come on. Oh, what the? What the heck? You need to go back to your body. That's what you need to do. Oh, she got a hit on me. There we go. Come on. Got her. But that was the crazy old lady. She sounds like you when you're raging, right? She did. It's multiplayer games again. Hey! Am I free? What the heck is wrong with that cat? That cat took the heart of that ghost? Okay. Oh dear gosh, we just got two double-handed downwards. What the heck? Okay, so right now we're in Act 6, Destiny. So what the heck is going on here? So who hands were those? Or what's going on? Okay, well, I got my phone back, so I got my phone. So we're good there. We're checking the phone. We got many cars parked here in the driveway. It's like we had a house party. Okay, I guess should we go inside? Yeah, but 1 second. Let's Let's explore around a little bit. Yep, that's definitely dangerous. So we're gonna go in. We're gonna go inside first. Door was just opening. I guess we gotta go the other way. Okay, we're inside. Very nice. Wait a minute. I know about those red seeds. Oh, never mind. I was about to say, it kind of reminds me of Deadly Premonitions when we were playing that game. Okay, so it's gonna be a little spooky here, guys. It looks like we're about to get ourselves into something here. We'll be doing multiplayer games again soon. All right. Ooh, teapots. What the heck happened here? Somebody left their cell phone. They left it. I can't believe it. Let's finish downstairs first. Don't you dare. Why would you close on me like that? That's spooky. Yeah, I know we're not alone here, guys, so let's be careful. Yeah, this door is locked, so we can't go out that way. This door is locked. Okay. So we're probably going to have to come back to that one soon. Upstairs we go. It's locked. Okay. There's definitely something wrong with this room. I hope we're ready for this. Ancient poem about Sulong. This is an ancient poem. Its writing tells me about someone who lamented Sulong's fate. Maybe it was written by one of the keepers. Duh, Karuna. Karuna tells Ortiz Jellies. Oh, I don't know how to read that. What the? Oh, wait, it's in English. Oh, poor you, beautiful one. Oh, you have sacrificed your life, your purity, although you've defeated a calamity for mankind. It's you who suffered the curse. Your body decayed, your soul corrupted, wandering between two worlds, imprisoned by the terrible fate. Be patient, beautiful one. The darkness will soon be gone. That was confusing. So what the heck did I just grab? Let's check our inventory here real quick. We got the key, bathroom key, the key to the bathroom. I'm assuming upstairs, so we're gonna. Yep, blood going into that room, meaning something bad is about to happen. Let's be ready for it. Oh yeah, we unlocked it. Sweet. The bathroom looks normal. Yeah, okay. Hey, why are these snake skins doing here? We're going back to that snake world again. Oh, these pictures we took. Oh, look how crazy she looks, and that's her body. Nah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what about you, bro? Did you get your application going? Did you get accepted yet, bro? You gonna join the PD with me, bro? I'm waiting on you, man. No, I do want to get some GTA going on with us. I know I haven't really been streaming GTA. I just haven't really been like that active, really. Like I've been tired. Like these past couple weeks, I've been busy, bro. Very, very busy. By the way, check this out. I did get something new today. I don't know. I know you haven't really seen it. How can I do this? I don't think I have this on. Find out. Wow, it works. Look. You see the pictures over there. That's funny. All right, hold on. Oh, yeah, that's there now. get a good view. Yeah. Well, because I got the all that going on there. All right. Anyway. Oh God. I could just do this, like have it show it like you guys can see like the keyboard, like, oh God, what is going on here, man? Nah. All right, hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Go ahead and take that down. Miracle tracks. Right, what's up, Alter? How are you, bro? How are you, man? How's everybody doing here today? Yeah, I like the frame rate in this game. It's awesome. Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do, guys. Actually, because I only have one 144 hertz monitor, I'm gonna take this one out. I'm gonna get another one pretty soon. Okay, so, but yeah, give you the old one. Yeah, I had to get rid of my old desk, bro. It was destroyed. I was debating today which one to get. So the one that I got today, I'll show you guys. Let me just do it with this actually. So we had the oh, okay. Yeah, I went with this one right here, and I even went with that store that you were talking about too, Jay. Hold on, guys. Oh, okay. Let's get going. It's showtime. Yeah. Now I think maybe next week or the week after, I'm actually gonna go ahead and get the double mount. I know. I you have no idea, bro. I needed a desk bad. You have no idea. My desk was done. It like literally fell apart when I like took it out, bro. Like it was crazy. I needed the space. Plus I want something to move. So the motherboard and the CPU, I'm gonna wait, bro. I'm gonna wait. I think I'm just gonna wait, probably maybe in the summer or something. I'm gonna save up money from now to then to see what we can do. Try to get that going in. So that way I can get that. What did I have? I had the key and then I grabbed another key. Basement key. Yeah, we gotta go downstairs now. Got it. Yeah. I was gonna get the other one, the cheaper one, but for the price, bro. I was like, you know what? Just give me that one. Plus, it has 5-year warranty, so that's good. In case the motors go out on me. Yeah, they had some pretty good deals. I looked at this one, something similar for this price. Freaking expensive, bro. We're talking like $700, $800. I'm like, whoa, time out. No, that's too much money. They actually had a really nice one for like, I think $379 or $329, something like that. It was a little cheaper, but it wasn't motorized. So I was like, for $100 more, just give me the motor. Just do it, man. So what do we have here in the basement? Yeah, I didn't want to do it, bro, but you know what? It's something that I need. Next, I'm gonna give me another. I'm gonna try to get me another chair, maybe. We'll see. That way I can work on that. But dude, I love it. It comes with a full mat. Like my entire desk has to give a mouse pad, but on your whole desk. That's what's on it, bro. Amazing. Like I don't think it's gonna be like the best mat in the world because of its size, but awesome, dude. I might even still buy me a secondary one, put it underneath just so I can get the lights and stuff. But we'll see. It's actually pretty nice. But I do other things too, so I've been making like money with other ways. So hopefully, you know, I know streaming we haven't really been doing too good, but we're trying. Has the fake leather arm, cushions and all cracking up and it hurts. Yeah. Well, this chair is done, dude. This chair is done. Like first of all, this little tiny pillow, and then this is the back pillow. Like what the hell is that? That's nothing. Like this chair is like 5 years old, I believe, maybe even longer. It's done for. It's time to upgrade. But I don't want to spend so much. The good ones are expensive. Oh, what the hell? There's a ghost in here, guys. Be ready. It's locked. Gotcha. All right, we're fighting enemies now, guys, so we gotta be careful. Try having your arms grinded off because of the armrest. Really? Damn, Jim. Yeah, the struggle is real, dude. We're all going through with it. Trust me. You're not the only one, bro. It's pretty bad for us all. All right, let's continue looking around, see what else we can find here, guys. Okay, yeah, that's weird. Dude tied up. There he is, right up there. Holy shoot, what the? Holy crap, he scared the living jibbities out of me. Ooh, what the? A dead man with a strange outfit. Yeah, I wonder what happened to him. Yeah, well, this guy too. All these guys. Okay, so if I do the powerful one, yeah, they are cracking up really bad. So I do need a new gaming chair. Yeah, honestly, dude, I kind of wanted to change from these to like something different. I don't know, bro. Like honestly, with these kind of chairs, if you don't spend $300 to $400 or more, you're not getting a good one. There's a lot of those like downgraded ones that are like 150, 200, maybe 250 or so, but you gotta really watch what you buy. They don't have enough padding in them, just like you said. Let's see, what the hell? What's going on here? All these people in the rituals and stuff, and here's the snake. Let's keep moving around, guys. The hell happened here? We're missing an emblem. A strange table and it's missing one plate. Maybe I should find it and put it on a mechanism. Well, I think we know where it was, guys. We just saw it on the wall. See, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take it. Yeah, sorry about that, Jim. I mean, you'll get one, bro. You'll get one. Honestly, there's some comfortable ones that are not like really gaming chairs, but they're pretty comfortable, bro. Like 80 bucks, 100 bucks. You just gotta really know what you're buying. Really, you just want something that's gonna really protect your back and arch it perfectly, you know? Oh, I think we gotta change these. Where's the symbol at? There was a symbol we had to look at. I bet you we can just figure it out, though. These need to connect. Oh. Yeah, it'd be like that, and then I gotta get this side. No, I screwed up. It'd be like that. That side looks good. Actually, what if it goes like this? Yeah, this one didn't have any of the back pillows, so I had to use random pillows. Really? Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, this one just came with like small miniature ones. I mean, I guess you could buy your own. I guess they just all kind of fit the same way. So the pillows are pretty important. All right, so I need to figure out how we're gonna do this. Got it. Bam! Looks like we're going downstairs, guys. All right, we're going down. Here we go. It's showtime. All right, let's see what we got down here. Looks like it's getting pretty spooky if you ask me. Spooky is good and spooky is nice. When it comes to all of this, you ain't gotta ask me twice. Oh, look at this guy. Safe? The legacy of the keepers. This one is interesting. A parchment paper which tells me about the legacy of the keepers of the dark. Can't read all that. Fear not, all of you. Even the darkest nights will set by the daylight. Be patient, all of you. These harsher plane is nurturing to powerful seed. Rejoice, all of you. One day our true descendants will come. This child will deliver us from hardship and our sacrifice for mankind. This is our true legacy, the legacy of the keepers of the dark. Okay. These guys are all still alive. Oh gosh, what happened to you, dude? Wow. Ashes to ashes and... Oh, are these the eggs? Did we just find the eggs? There's gonna be an enemy in there. Bye-bye. Oh, look at him. Trying to come up in here. Okay, so you guys are both down and out. Perfect. Let's check out these long, creepy hallways of what the heck is going on. I don't know where it is, guys. Holy shoot! Holy crap, he scared me. Oh my gosh. See, we can see him even without the flight? Oh. Scared me. What's with all these dolls? Can't open that door, guys. Not happening. All right. Okay, a display case with a strange stone is sorted inside, and I need 2 keys to open it. Where could they be? Oh gosh, great. Door is locked. Room seems clean and secured. There's going to be keys that we need. There's something up top. I see you. Can't get it. It won't let me get it. Oh, okay. Oh, we can actually see you. Down and out, down and out. That sucks. How come I couldn't get you like while you were on the ceiling though? That makes no sense at all. That was so weird, man. So weird. All right, let's keep the progress rolling in, guys. We're doing pretty good. We're definitely, oh, not the dog thinking. Oh, what the heck? What are you looking at? There's that dragon again. It's a weird looking statue though, for real. Okay, well, here's the weird cheetah. Definitely a piece standing out. Giant green piece of something. Gotta make sure we watch these guys. These guys like to jump down from ceilings and stuff, guys. Okay, broken shelf. Something down at the end. I don't trust it though. We gotta really watch ourselves with this one. Okay, he's down at the end. I see. What the hell? Oh! Get the hell off of me! Get the crap off of me! What the hell? Dude! What the? No, I can't get him off. Oh my gosh. Yo, this dude is cheating for real. Wow, I can't even hit this guy. Bro, F you, bro. Wow. Yeah, okay. He got some long reach, and I have short film. I guess I should have got the next phone up with the better megapixels. Maybe I would have had better distance with it, you know? Let's do this again. How far back? Seriously? Oh, hell no. No, you didn't. Oh my god. Of course. Come on. Come on. Jeez, I have no patience. I gotta do all that again. That's a bit ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is. He's gonna come from the ground. Go ahead, spawn in. Let's go. There you go. Alright, let's get him. There's one. There's two. He's down and out. Okay, let's move on to the next room. Alright, so we're gonna be right back where we left off, guys. This one's gonna be up in the ceiling, but I can't do anything until he jumps down. Jump down. Okay. 1, 2, move in. Alright, and then when we get this way, this is where we're gonna see the other guy. And maybe I need to grab what we need and go, because I couldn't get this guy. I know he's down there, but what is it that does he like not like light or something? I don't think it matters. Okay, he's right there. Come on. I know you see me, bro. He ain't coming yet, really? No, it's no speed run. This is my first time playing it. Oh gosh, he's gonna be coming. Come on. This is stupid. Get the hell off of me! Whatever. Woo! I gotta do the quick shot, not that whatever the hell I was doing. All right, nice and easy. All right, that one was a little hard. He got some really, really long reach. Okay, so what? Oh gosh, we're not the only ones in this room. Come on. Okay, so children of the serpent's prayer, all hail our serpent goddess. We, the children, beseech to the guidance and wisdom, for we are truly lost and blinded by the light. D. Deliver us the fresh cage, unmask these masquerades. Let us be born again with the true children and live by our tenets. Rise again, our dark savior. Spread your poison and lay your vengeance upon our enemies. Let your eternal night descend once more. Deliver us this broken and unworthy world. Okay, so what is wrong with these people? Like, what the heck is wrong with... Wait, what did I get? I think I got a key. One of the two keys. Is this the right key? Do I need them both? Okay, well, I guess we need the other one. So we're gonna have to go on the other side now, guys. I wish we could save the game. Long range, yeah. Well, that darker spirit actually like sprints at you and grabs you without a doubt. Like, it's crazy how fast that thing is. That's a nice picture. All right. These are pretty nice too. All right, let's figure out what else we got going on here, guys. I just wish we could like we have more of a sprint, you know? We don't really have much of a sprint. Every PC game has hackers? Yeah, I mean, pretty much. But what the hell is that? Oh, heck you know. Holy crap. Holy crap, what is that thing? Are you down for good or what? What's going on? Disappear. I don't trust it. Holy dear jeez! I just heard it breathing. I think it's only down temporarily. That's creepy. I shouldn't have touched that key. I should have not had opened that key. We gotta go the other way now. And I wait for you to walk past it, right? This side's all done. We don't know what's over here though. Bad Run Gundam is an old diary. The old diary belongs to Bad Run Gunda Sarmida. It contains daily reflections of the Patriarch. One page does contain interesting information about some mechanisms in his house. Damn contractors, they cost me a fortune for making these contraptions in my house. I'll tell the boys to finish them for good after their work is done. So this person was in charge of all this? Let me try to go the other way just to be safe, guys. Yeah. What time is it there? What time is it? It's 10:30. Wow, 10:30. It's early. Holy shoot. I actually streamed the time I said I was going to stream. Look at that. Okay, this room seems clear so far. I know it's not going to be clear forever, guys. Well, that looks like a creepy room to be in. So good thing we don't have to go in there because it does look spooky. No ghost in here? I know there's gonna be one eventually. Nothing. Holy crap, how dark is it in here? Oh. It's a pretty quiet basement, which is good. There's nothing beyond these parts, guys. Nothing here. Hokang's still alive! Woo! But Jay, you got me though. You did get me on that one. All right, guys, let's continue. Yep, we got one down the hall. All right, let's get this one. Alright, so this guy's gonna be down and out, which is good. Those are the beads. Okay, let's check this way. Let's see. Are you serious? All right, so what do we want to do? Do we want them all to be popped up? So when okay. They're all up except for the last one. They're all up. Or they all have to be down. Hey, Clash Royale would be doing that. Right, Thomas, how you been, man? Always playing with women. Hey, all down to unlock. Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay, well, let's stick this through. All right, so when we press this one, it's activating these two. Let's keep those both down. These activate all three of these. These, okay, this does all these three. This does all these three. This one does these two. I'm always getting stuck with one left here. Oh, we could? Wow, we could hit these. I'm done. Okay, so why is it not doing it with the... Okay, so it's a controller issue then. Gotcha. All right, so then we need to be doing... But that would be up. Oh, I got it now. You know what? Screw this. Okay, that's gonna do all those. Let's do this. Let's get up top. Other side top. Let's get this one bottom. Man, this is awkward. What? What do you mean, Thomas? What happened, bro? What did I do, bro? 2 buttons up there you can click. I didn't even know that. See, the whole time. Yeah, because I'm using a controller originally, and I guess makes sense. Got it. Boom. Hmm? What just happened? So that's it? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So there's something else I need to do? What is going on? I'll make sure ain't no creatures over it. Holy shoot! Holy macaroni! Scared the living jitterbities out of me, yo. Damn. That was on my face. I found a stone. Yay! Okay, so what's over here then? I need to find one more of those keys, I think. Oh, creepy room. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, okay. Yeah, take this picture. There you go. There you go. All right, so we got mannequins. I believe the other Dreadout game, I do remember a room like this. Looks like the same bed we saw in that lady's house. You want to lock the door? Oh. Am I missing something here? I don't get it. I don't get what's going on here. I guess we gotta go back. Oh, but you know what? I don't think we haven't been this way, I don't think. Hold on, let me check. Yep. Nope. Got him down. Okay. Oh gosh, another one? Boom! That one was a little easier. Oh wait. Ooh, Tommy's just nasty. Nasty. Oh, okay. So we got the flower stone. 7 flawless beauties will someday wither. Okay, and then we got the life stone. Okay. Well, then we got the other stones. We're all good here. I guess we can go ahead and head up out of here. So where would the other ones be then? Make sure we don't get like ganged up on here. What is this? Oh, okay, we need more. Bam! Got it. Wait, Trix, you on PC? Yeah, I'm on PC right now. All right, so we got another item added to our inventory. So what am I supposed to do here? Add the stones here or what? Oh. I need one more. That's 3 stones. Oh boy. Don't. Oh, is he? Are you down? Oh, twice in a row? Secret library key. A key to open a secret library door inside. So where the heck was that at? That might be where to get the last stone. It's got to be in here then. Right. Yeah, can you believe it? Right, yeah, I'm not on mobile right now. Yeah, weekends are usually mobile. Weekdays I'll usually do like PC or Xbox. Haven't really been on Xbox in a while though, to be honest. Can't get this one. Why? We just don't go to that one or what? Nope. It's locked from the other side. Oh, Thanos. Thanos is a cool stone. Reminds me of Smite. Stone of Thanos. Not gonna be this room, because this was the room we This was the room with the poem thingy, I think. Yeah. We grabbed this one already. Alright, so there's a secret library door. That's where we need to go right now, guys. For sure. I'm going back the same way again. Yeah, we're gonna find a secret room, don't worry. I remember seeing more locked doors somewhere. But where? I do like this game though, guys. Like, it's just so weird that they finally made a new one, you know? Really cool game, man. Really is. Secret library door. Okay, so it's not going to be on this side. And then we'll figure it out for sure. Okay, let's see. Was there more locked doors upstairs? I don't think so. Well, hold on. These statues, they say anything? No. No. This wall is looking a little suspicious. No? Okay. It says secret library door, and I saw a whole bunch of bookshelves, so I was like, maybe this spot? Oh, look at the geeky cats. These were really long hallways. I'm pretty sure we missed something here. Alright, so we came in through that door. I'm gonna go ahead and go back through this way again. Okay, this was the other long hallway that we had. I can't go through here. What the hell? Okay, never mind. I found a pedestal with 4 slots. Its strange argument or arrangement could be related to some kind of ritual. The plague reads, "Whoever satisfies my hunger, I will show them the true path." Maybe I should find some objects related to the sacrifice. Okay. Well, obviously we know there's stones, so there's one more we need here, guys. I know, Thomas. I'm slacking on The Walking Dead, guys. I really need to watch it. I try so hard not to read social media because I hate spoilers. Like, so I'm doing the best I can, and I'm seeing like little glimpses. Oh wait, nope. Why is this one empty? All right, so maybe this is a way we can only see with the camera. There's something we're missing here. I like this. I like puzzles. Puzzles are great. There's got to be something with this room because there was this. This was just the room where the enemy spawned, nothing more. You know, down here we grabbed the key. Why is this thing so green? You must always your right hand if glowing blue, there's a way. Oh, I forgot about my wristwatch thingy. You're right. Oh. Wow. I completely forgot about that. Oh my gosh. The wrist kind of reminds me of what was that? Resident Evil Revelations 2. Ooh, what the hell's going on here, guys? We got cobwebs everywhere. Let's watch our backs. Where are we going? Oh dear gosh. This is not like what we saw. There's a letter here on the ground. Somebody wrote some kind of body counts. 98, 99, 100. Oh, you forgot, Tricks. You have no idea, bro. I'll be forgetting all the time. Guys, before I take this any further, just a moment. It's getting kind of cold. One second. I bet he gonna have food. No, I made sure I ate before I went live. No, not really. I didn't eat that much though. So yeah, I might get hungry, guys. Who knows? Check around here first. Nothing. Empty picture frames. I noticed. That's so weird. Come to Papa. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, holding it down, guys. There was two of them trying to sneak up on me like that. What's the matter with you? Ooh, candle. Item in inventory. What did we get? Oh, we got the other key. One of the two keys. Is there a wrong key, or do I need them both? I guess I get the last stone now, and that now I can get the last stone. You know, that one, whatever that is, stands out of all of them. Okay. What is this? Whoop. I see that body. What the hell? So spooky. Nothing. This is all for looks and show. I haven't locked the door. Oh, nice. About time. Wait, this was the one with the keys, right? I could have sworn this was it. What? What's with the phones? Part of the game, bro. Oh, speaking of phones, guys, I almost upgraded my phone today. So, I don't feel like financing a phone, right? I really don't. But I was going to get the S20. Has 12 gigs of RAM. Like, what the heck? It's got more RAM than some people's computers I know nowadays. Like, you know, people be having like 4 grams. Wow. Let me change this. 4 gigabytes of RAM, or 8. I don't know what the heck's going on. Oh, you know, it is a bug. You must reload your last checkpoint. No. You know what? I've had the same issue with what was it? When I was fighting that old lady with her head flying around, she the door was locked on me. I had to restart from the last checkpoint. Oh no, this sucks. How far is the checkpoint? How far back was this? Oh gosh, I guess we'll find out. The 3 eggs are in, so that's good. So what do I gotta do now? I think it gave me the checkpoint when I killed that creature. It is a bug. Okay. Before I touch that, I'm gonna go grab the other key. Yeah. That's exactly what I did. I did trigger it. Oh wait, I'm the wrong way. Oh man, I went to the wrong room. No, actually, hold on. No, I think this is the right room. We gotta go this way. Food hype. Yeah, food hype sounds pretty good. This is amazing. Like, look at this. Like, that's amazing. At least the checkpoint's not too bad. I give it credit. The checkpoints are a lifesaver. But when you die, that's different. Alright, we're gonna read the letter just to activate it again, just to be safe. Goodbye. Let's grab that last key, guys. Yeah, so the checkpoint wasn't too bad. I think that's pretty cool. That's fair enough. I thought we... Holy dear gosh! Guys, scared the crap out of me. Okay, here we go. Oh, we got the fragment stone. This world reeks of hypocrisies. Let the fragments invite she who purged the liars. Ooh, that's a very serious... That grenade is scarier now than the scream. I know, right? It is. No, trust me, guys. Halloween, I'll add some more screams for you guys. Yeah. Okay, we got all the 4 stones in now, guys. What's happening? What the heck is gonna happen now? Oh gosh. Oh dear jeez. The obvious is to grab that, but I want to look around. Oh, we ain't going nowhere. We're stuck. We're in a room. This looks like this is going to open. Yep, just grab the obvious. Oh!
Udang maneh penjaga kegelapan.
My arm! Oh, what is this? Our Soul Reaver now? We playing Legacy of Kain's Soul Reaver? So dark and red around here. Wow, that's a pretty good sword. This side just opened. This side just opened. And this side just opened. So it looks like there's different ways to go, guys. Oh no! Yep, broke away. Come here. Come here. Seriously, dude? Come here. Oh, that works too. Goodbye. Oh, doors are opening. So which way are we going? There's many different ways to go. Seriously? Well, I don't want to go through that bug. What's with all the bugs? Oh. That is interesting indeed. But thank you so much for the bug update. I'm pretty sure there's bugs. I know it's a new game, so... Oh, nothing here. Okay. So the hallways kind of repeat themselves, and then we're constantly going into the same room with the, Okay. Which way are we going? I think it's kind of guiding me, so I think we're going to be okay. Okay, hopefully we're going the right way. Yeah, it's like looping. Yeah, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Hopefully it's not a, like a trap. There are ways I can go. I feel like we're going to have to use our senses of hearing on this one. Let's see, if we can make a right turn, we're going to go ahead and make a right. We can't make a right. Okay, so we're constantly going through the same one. It's not working. So oh. Something's going on here. Yep, something is going on. Oh, it's just gotten darker. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and go this way. Oh, what the? So for those guys, I can't see in the dark, guys. We're gonna go this way. What, Tricks be playing crazy games? I like crazy games. They're good. Okay. We're gonna try to do the inner ones to kind of take us inside and see where it's gonna take us now. There's gotta be something, right? There's gotta be something in here. I guess we're gonna go ahead and go this way. Let's see, can we go this way? Let's go this way. We're gonna try to switch it up a little bit. Ooh, we almost got blown to smithereens. Oh, there's that gas. Does it stay back? How's the sun doing? Yeah, good. Everything's good. We got that way, and then we got this way. Let's say we go this way. All right, guys, here we go. Come on. Oh. That's it. There is that ring that cat made. Oh. Oh. Okay. Sounds pretty serious. Showtime. I don't trust this. Oh, okay. He's quiet, right? Skull. We're walking into a dinosaur of some sort. You know, the sound in this game, I know, like, varies up and down. But it could be my headphones. Maybe it doesn't like surround sound. Oh, no. We're in big trouble. How am I supposed to fight this thing? Oh, it sees me. It's looking right at me. Look. Oh. Can't move. Move out the way! There it is. You are blocking this path. Oh, I guess I'm not going that way. Okay, I guess we have to fight? Oh no! No! Nope. Oh, yeah, you look mad. You look mad. Come on. How am I supposed to fight? Why do I hear you in like 2 different spots? Oh, what the? Gotcha on that hit though. Oh, no you don't. Oh, no you don't. Ah, I couldn't reach. It's like playing Dark Souls. It is. It really is. Come on, 1 hit, guys, but we're not doing enough damage. Oh, no. Big giant boss fights. Oh, you try to kick me. How come I hear the sound over here, but it's not over there? Oh, wow. He just kicks me. He's like, get the hell out of here. No! Dang it, I gotta hit it like right on. There we go. We're not doing much damage, but we ain't got a choice. Aw, man. Oh, Flash? Let's find out. Oh! Oh! Come here, you. Nope, that didn't work. Take that! Oh, yeah. Oh, it hurt! Hit him in the legs. Hit him in the legs. Right in the butt. Right in the butt. That's how we do it. Wow, how did I not think about the flash part? Makes sense. That would be too difficult if I only had to wait for that one swab. I'll be here all day. Wow. So what did I get anyway from that? The Lelamont Killer Chris, an ancient weapon given by the era to Linda. As Linda received this weapon, it marks her acceptance as one of the keepers of the dark. Was forged in Han for the Keeper's Elders as one of the most important weapons during the Mankind's Serpent. Powerful, yet sinister, the killer is also known for the ability to drain life force from its victims. Unfortunately, this ability would put its wielder at risk of being tainted. Oh, so we're tainted. Okay, we gotta go this way. Yeah. Ooh, look at this. Bunch of dead bodies. The hand's gonna grab me. We're probably going to meet the hand again, guys. Yep. Whose hand is that? Ooh, Act 7 power. We got the power. Bum, 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 bum. What is going on here, guys? It's like we're in the city, but like different. Oh, we're about to fight. One down. You want to battle me? All right, we got a couple more of you guys. Let's go. Let's get the one. We're gonna pull this one in, so we ain't gotta fight the other one too much, guys. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. That last hit's a nice power wielder. Oh! Taking him down, guys. So we're taking out all the evil forces or something? What's going on here? Yo, what's up with that? It berries for us too, right? Yeah, it does. It really does. I got the power. Oh! Kaboom! Ugh. That thing just nasty farted right now. Farting! Or defecating, sorry. Let's get more technical in the terms there. Oh, gosh. All right, we're gonna have another one up ahead. Oh, this guy. Oh, this guy's spitting acid. This guy's a tank. He's like a Geb. But I think I can one-hit him if I get him from the back. Got him. Boom! Right in the eyeballs. Oh no, this time it was the chest. It changes every time. Are you still alive? What? Come on. There we go. Okay, so what's over here then? What is this thing? That's the no face. Okay. You. How dare you? Come here! Oh no! Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the city, I believe, the beginning city. Yeah, it's gotta be. It looks like it. Stay back! You don't defecate on me, not today. Wow, typing's so much better now. All right, where are we at now? Oh no, you don't. No way, man, no way. Not happening tonight. All right, let's get back inside. I believe we're gonna go down that alley, but I'm gonna go this way. There's something down there at the end, guys. Let's take this alley. Let's see what this alley's all about. Is this gonna take me back to the house? It's a dead end. Right? No, it's not. Oh! Oh, no you didn't. Okay. I really want to check my house out. Oh, it's one of those blind guys. Yep. I knew we were in our town. Oh, screw being quiet. Ooh wee! That was close. Boom, boom, pow. Right, but I don't know how. Are we getting that boom, boom, pow? Hold on, I gotta fix it. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. This is epic. All right, let's check out our room, guys. So our room is actually filled with blood. We don't know why. Oh, we can never go in that room. Ain't got none of our stuff here, so this will be our bedroom. Go figure. Well, let's see if we can check the rest of the house now. No. What the heck? Okay. Flying carpet. It's interesting. Okay, let's go up top. What's up here? Where's that ghost lady? What the hell? Am I still stepping on... I'm confused. I am confused! Oh, okay. Alright, well, we're gonna head back down. Right. That's interesting. Hey, you know, it happens though. I'm guessing like the offset's just not set up correctly on that part. Okay, so this is a dead end, but it was kind of cool to see the house. I thought that was pretty awesome. We're gonna go ahead and make that progress back to where we were, guys. All right, so we're moving on forward here again. I feel like something's gonna come out from the bottom. The hell? What is that? I don't know what that is, but we're in big... I think that's that big one. How am I supposed to fight this? I don't even know what that is, guys. I don't think I've ever encountered this creature. Or was that the one that was just chasing us? Well, I haven't fought this thing in a while. I have to hit it once and back up, I think. No! It's gonna hurt. Yep, that's gonna hurt. Dang it! I can't get a good wick or hit on him. It hurts. Back it up! Okay, just take the hit like that. See, one hit. Yeah, I don't think we're really meant to... Move, move, move! What? That's crap. Nah, we can't fight this thing. It's gonna kill me. How do I dodge? Oh! What? No, my health is low. Let me let my health regenerate here a little bit. I'm back. Whoa, right time is right. This thing's kicking my butt cheeks. Wow. Oh, I'm in trouble. Wow. Why do I do everything the hard way? I think it just stays like that? Yeah, I got a new ghost thingy. Okay, I remember that one like in the beginning of the game. I think it was the first level. And after that, I don't think we've ever really saw it again. It's a pretty big... Oh! It got me there. Alright, well, I'm gonna let this this creature come and get me real quick. Hello? Hello? Hey, over here! I think we can we backstab all of them? Let's find out. Okay. Oh, not this one. That's how we do it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, we're really rocking like Soul Reaver here. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a broken pole. Oh, not this part. I remember this part. Goodbye. Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Yo, so what's over here? I remember this statue because we had to fight that lady. What? Oh, why did I do that? Like we found something. Okay. He's like, oh no. Nothing we can do with the cats. Okay. Let's keep moving on then, guys. Let's see what else we got here. We got something up ahead. Alrighty then. Another one of those, but at least this time we know how to fight it. Come on. Bring it on there, buddy. Of course you're not the only one. I want you to come along while the other ones are behind you. Oh, just barely. There we go. Come on. Come on. Couple more. Couple more. Yeah. Oh, you're still standing pretty good, aren't you? Goodbye. Okay, we got a couple of you guys here. Let's go ahead and bring it on. That's right, bring it to Papa. Or bring it to Mama. I'm sorry. I can skip through them? Yeah, probably. There we go, there we go. Come on. But I need my XP though. I need my experience points. What is this on the wall? Alright, we're making it in, guys. Here we go with the serpent thingy. I remember these doors. Oh my god, I remember these. What was this? Keeper of the Dark, right? This was the second edition I think they made. I remember this is where we saw the janitor with the broom. I can't remember. I think that's what it was. I think so. No, this one definitely looks a lot different. Looks like a piranha. I take it we're supposed to take this out. Okay, so we're making our ways inside this whatever it is. That's why we're doing this whole Keeper of the Dark thingy. Gotcha. I think I'm understanding the story a little more now again. It's been a while. Look at the big giant eye. Why are you blocking? What are you doing to me? What do you want? Why do you stare at me like that? It's so creepy. Well, this looks bad. Oh! What the? No! I'm low on health, guys. Okay, I gotta watch out for these things. Seriously? Wow. Get up on me. Whoa. I need to use the light to take these things away. Oh, no you don't. Get up on me! Yep, I'm dead. Those things hurt. Yeah. Alright, so now I know. Go straight for the eye, guys. Those little tentacles really help this thing out. Oh no! I need to regenerate some health. Or do we have to flash it? Like the Lord of the Rings. Bird! As long as I get a hit. I don't know. I don't think this is the right way to fight this guy. Yeah, this way ain't working, guys. Oh. No, get up on me! Oh! Oh, damn, what am I doing? Get off! Let's get away from these tentacles again. No, bad idea. Bad idea. Get out, get out, get out! Oh my god. I'm done. I couldn't move. I shouldn't have fought them. I should have just went around. Oh my gosh. Please spawn me after we kill this guy. Oh, thank goodness. So he's in the ground. Okay. Okay, this guy's back again. No, get off of me! Here she is. Oh, she's like from the first one. Come on. What am I supposed to do? Oh, okay. No, she took my phone. How dare she? She likes the tentacles. Oh, she just broke my phone. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Not these guys. These guys are going to be all up in the way. Get off! Oh, no! I'm going to be stuck again. Oh, my God. Seriously? This is annoying. Why? Why do I always got to get stuck in between? Right? I need to get rid of these guys, or I'm going to die. Get off! Get off! Move! Oh my gosh. I'm in so much trouble. Seriously? Well, I'm about to die. This damn... I'm done for. I'm done for. Oh my God, we got just lucky, I think. Wow. Nope. So what happens now? I have no phone, no sword. Oh, what the heck? I remember her in the last one. But I think she was like an alligator in the last one. I got no phone, man. Okay, so what's happening here then? What? Yeah, I couldn't do anything there. That's the name of this enemy. Oh.
Such incredible power. You must be asking yourself,
Why does she remind me of like
would anyone
Vampire the Masquerade?
things?
Wow.
Since the beginning, we, mankind, have been nothing more than mere toys to the so-called greater powers. Collateral damage amidst their clashing. They prey on our anxieties, guilt, and fears, force us to bow, take sides, and call them gods.
How do I get my knight back? What the heck?
All for the price of our true potential, the will to power, in exchange for bondage, slavery, and false hope. Ah, yes, I used to take comfort at those, but then I tasted the forbidden.
The heck is going on here?
If we can overthrow those who bind us, and
She can't possibly understand. Even when she was my student, she was always a bit of a dullard. The point is, above all else, I want to rule this world. And if you choose to, you can rule a world of your very own. All you have to do is take my hand.
Oh.
Well, well, well. I didn't expect that.
Um. Awkward. So where did I go? Take the world with dark power. It really seems that way. What? What? Ooh, we did it. We did it. We beat it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, just in case for copyright, maybe I'll turn the music off there for a second. But what did you guys think about the game? I liked it. It was nice to play another version of Dreadout. I actually brought it up not too long ago. And then here I am. I checked, and it was a trailer for it. And I said, wow. You think there'll be a Dreadout 3? Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. this one was different. This one was definitely different. You know, it had some nice little open world free roam, which is cool. That was a nice little addition. Because I know the other ones didn't really do that, so that was actually really, yeah, it was very different indeed. It was very, very, very different. Different in a very good way too. I mean, I liked it. It was not bad at all. Oh man. Oh gosh. Oh, what the heck just happened here? Hold on, guys. Bear with me here.